what is it that you need?
I need a table to hold my heat press.
What's a heat press?
It's a heavy piece of machinery that when you print out certain sublimations or vinyl, you put it on a shirt or a pillow or something, then you press it and then it attaches it to the garment.
Okay, how much do you think it weighs?
It weighs about 103 pounds.
We put 100 pounds. So material wise, should we use, I have 1 1/4 quarter. Here's the thing, I can use 2 by 2 inch legs. I think that's overkill because it's only a couple hundred pounds. I built this one for 1,000 pounds. And then also you don't want to have to, when you move, you have to maybe pick it up and take it down the stairs. We'll try to make it lighter by using 1 1/4. So I think we'll go with 1 1/4, and then we can do a weight test on it, ensure that it holds up. So let's do 1.25 square tubing, and I think 1 inch angle iron at the top. And then we can use 2 by 4 slats, kind of like that, and the bar top I made, but with spaces in it, which will also make it lighter. But then if you decide you want to put a nicer piece of wood, we just unscrew those and we could put something else in there, or we could put metal in there if it needs that stability. But we'll put a crossbar in there to provide support in the middle. And do you know the dimensions of that?
Yeah, it's about 3 feet long and a little less than 2 feet wide.
Okay. So I think a tabletop of 3.2 would be too small, so it's this. But you want to probably fit it up against a wall, so you don't want it to stick out too far.
I want it to mainly just hold the press because I don't want it to be too much in my way. I want to have barely just enough room to maybe set down a lint roller or the vinyl remover if I mess up, stuff like that.
Okay, so too thick, like space on the sides?
So I think 3 by 2 or 3 by 2.5 would be good.
So when long ways, if you're looking at it, do you use it from the short side, or do you use it from
the lever is here and it props open this way and I press it down.
So if you put it up somewhere, it's going to go up against the wall like this.
I probably won't have it against the wall in case, because since it gets like broil hot.
Alright, so it's on caster, so you can do whatever you want, right? Yeah. You can move it around. So we'll just do, but you want the space. If you use it from this side and you put stuff over here and over here, then that means you want room on these either side.
Yeah.
And so this stuff like this roll or lint thing, how wide is that?
A lint roller, just a regular lint roller.
So you're looking at.
So it's just enough to like leave a couple things down, like the lint roller, or there's a sheet that we put on in between the heat press and the shirt to protect the garment. So just little things like that I'd like it to hold. And then hopefully I'd like to have one shelf underneath, so that way, honestly, there's always extra crap in a workspace, right?
Okay, so how high? 31 inches. And this will be 2.5. This will be this way, it'll be 3. Which it doesn't really matter because you can orient the table whenever you want. And then we want a shelf on the bottom. Okay. Any particular preference on how low? You want it all the way at the bottom? You want the shelf up some?
We could do, let's say, a little bit lower than the center. So that way if I decide to put vinyl in the top row, and then the bottom can have random tools if I need.
Okay, shelf slightly lower. Okay, so we've got the top, will be 2.5 by 3. We've got the height 31 plus whatever the casters are. We're essentially almost done here. We've got the angle iron on the top to hold the 2x4s in. We've got a couple strips of angle iron on the bottom to hold the shelf of 2x4s. At the bottom, 1 inch square tubing for support structures on the opposite side of those angle irons. At the bottom, 1 1/4 inch post for the legs and some CNC cut plates that'll allow the casters to bolt up. We'll use I think 3/4 inch hex bolts with lock washer and a locking nut. We'll shoot for 200 pounds because 200-pound casters for the press, the table weight itself, and any materials that you may throw on there up to 50 pounds. I'm sure it'll hold more, but the casters will be fine. Okay, so so there's the regular steel like this that's called mill scale, and you could either leave it like that and we could clear it. We could either clear it with polyurethane paint, which is just paint that's clear, satin, make it look nice that way. We can use boiled linseed oil, which is something that it's kind of embeds itself inside the metal, but over a period of time, like a year, as you rub your hands on it and stuff, it may wear off, and so you just reapply that. We can paint it and use wood screws to attach the strips of 2x4. And what we'll do is we'll drill holes on the bottom side of the angle iron. But that means if we want a really good job, we got to take all the mill scale off. That means we would polish all this metal to take it up to a really shiny polish, and then that's the appropriate time to paint it. And then this table will last a long time.
I don't need it painted because I think since this is like a workshop to me, I kind of want it to have that workshop vibe.
Okay. Well, I would put some protectant so we could do boiled linseed on there.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, so it's hard to prevent this. So mill scale, when it's on here, if you want to really protect it from rusting, it will. I mean, the best we can do is trap it. We're trapping it with the boiled linseed, or we're trapping it with the paint. Problem is, over time, it should start rusting, but very, very, very slowly, which may give it a cool look in itself. You know, this stuff's in humidity. You can see some of this stuff was already rusty because that's why I used it. Was because it was scrap. It was metal that rusted, and I couldn't use it for something else. The problem is, if I go to clean that off, chances are I'll take away the gray mill scale, which means now you'll have a shiny spot, which will take care of that. But then, if you really wanted to get a uniform look across it, you've got to take all that stuff off and paint it. So it's up to you what you want to do.
I mean, can we just do regular and then some kind of coating to protect it a little longer?
Yeah, we can either boiled linseed or paint it with a clear satin enamel, which will darken this color and give it a nicer look.
Okay.
And to kind of protect it from oxidizing, rusting, and also give it a slightly darker, richer look of the metal. I think it'll come out nice. Well, let's get started.